www.ccc.com. You have found a safe place here where you are among friends, old or new. As Unitarian Universalists, we look for wisdom and guidance in all of the world's religions, among wise teachers and thinkers the world over. We have no set creed that we all believe in, but instead we come to listen, to connect with others, and to learn. We come to our own conclusions while respecting the views of others. Your presence here is always welcome. Announcements are listed in your order of service. I haven't heard of any special ones that need to be made. All right, I thought so, Jane.
Actually, it's something very different. Anyone who helped bring a meal to Stacy Shanks in the last 2-3 weeks, your dishes are not on the giveaway table, but in the boxes so labeled. So please take a look if you were one of the lovely folks who brought them a meal. Thank you.
And I hope you'll read our other announcements. In particular, we've got a postcarding event coming up on the 6th and some other interesting things. Next week's upcoming service is a guest speaker. Tom Brinton is coming back. He's a history prof at the college, and it's kind of a Juneteenth talk. He'll be talking about free black families in places where the Emancipation Proclamation hadn't reached yet. So it should be interesting. After the service, we have a time for snacks, and in lieu of our usual second hour small discussion groups, as you can tell, we have our free market. Everyone is welcome to look for things that you can give a new home to. We are cleaning our closets. Yes?
So sorry, we are going to have New You.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry if I didn't.
Okay, yes?
We're not going to be here next Sunday for the celebration of our anniversary, but I thank everybody for the good thought. We're going to be in New Orleans.
Oh, how exciting. David and Linda are celebrating 65 years of marriage next Saturday. So, yeah. So we'll send them our good wishes today as they go off on an adventure. Excellent. Excellent. And now, as you see, Cecile is also on vacation. So that if you will sit back and relax, the prelude will prepare us for the service.
Oh
with great enthusiasm. The spark of love resides in us all. We are free to act on it or not. If we choose love, how will love shape what we do? If we choose love, how will it improve our actions? If we choose love, how will I treat those around me? If I choose love, will I find it when life gets hard? If I choose love, will you choose love also? Love begets love, and it is love that lights our chalice. Our opening words are by our minister, Reverend Kathy Hurt, from her home in Virginia.
Good morning. I'm glad to be with you all again on this very last day of May. And though it's a month away yet, I'm already looking forward to my next opportunity to be with you in person. For today, though, across the miles between Virginia and Florida, I send you my best. And we begin with opening words that are adapted from Arlen Goff. In this hour and in this place, we cross a threshold from our day-to-day everydayness into a space and time where we are attuned to the other, to the sacred, to the possibility of a new life. How will we be renewed in this moment? How will we be changed by this hour? How will we be transformed in this gathering of our community? When this time is up, what will we say of it?
Please stand as you're able for our hymn. It is numbered 146 in the gray hymnal, Soon the Day Will Arrive. It will also be on the screen, a music video courtesy of the First Unitarian Church of Baltimore.
Torch must be passed with new hope, not in sorrow.
If the kids will come up, and anyone young at heart, it is the time for all ages with our DRE, Joshua Moore.
Howdy, y'all. I'm Joshua Moore. I'm the DRE here. And today I'm bringing you what is called either the river parable or upstream parable. And this version is adapted, it's from Irving Zola, who's an activist who fought for disability rights for a very long time. And this is a common parable that he used to tell. It's a little bit adapted, so. One day, a group of villagers was working in the fields by a river. Suddenly, someone noticed a person floating downstream. A woman rushed out and rescued them, brought them to shore, and cared for them. During the next several days, more people were found floating downstream, and the villagers rescued them as well. But before long, there was a steady stream of people floating downstream. Soon, the whole village was involved in many tasks of rescue work, pulling these poor souls out of the stream, ensuring that they were properly fed and clothed and housed and integrated into the village. While not all the people could be saved, now very numerous, the villagers felt that they were doing as good as they could to save as many as they did. Before long, however, the village became exhausted with all of this rescue work. Soon, some villagers suggested that they go upstream to discover how all of these people were getting into the river in the first place. Had a mysterious illness struck them? Had the shoreline been made unsafe by some earthquake? Was some hateful person just pushing people in deliberately? Was an even more exhausted village upstream abandoning them out of hopelessness? The village was split. "We can't spare a single hand," cried some. "We're barely keeping up as it is." "Don't you see?" cried the others. "If we go upstream, we can stop the problem at its source, and no one has to drown." "But it's too risky," said the village elders. "It might fail. It's not for us to change the system. And besides, how would we occupy ourselves if we no longer had this to do?" Thank you.
It's food for thought, huh? Tradition in our fellowship. You're welcome to come up, drop a glass pebble into the bowl of water either silently or while speaking a few words into the microphone. This practice shares our joys and helps us support each other in sorrows. This is a sacred time for us. our minister has the time for meditation. After our song of dedication, the greeters will take up the offering. If you're visiting, feel free to pass the plate along. We consider you our guest today. If you're paying your pledge with a check, please make a note in the memo line. We share any cash offerings, excuse me, and unmarked checks equally with a local charity. For May, our Share the Plate partner continues to be Crestview Resource Center. In partnership with many local private and public agencies, the CRC offers a wide range of services to people in need. Please be generous. From you I receive, to you I give, together we live.
Church is the way we live. Church is the way we care. Church is open. Church is gathered all the time and everywhere. Church is the hungry fed. Church is the wounded healed. In the work we do for justice, in the hope we bring the hopeless, all the best that church can be is finally revealed. Church is the time we take, tending to those in pain. Church is joined in holy worship when the bound are free again. Church is the pain at ease. Church is the peace they find in the welcome of the stranger, in the clothing of the naked. All the best that church can be is burning in our lives.
Our perspective this morning is by Reverend Kathy Hurt, and she calls it, "Who Do You Think You Are?"
When you were a kid, which superhero was your favorite and why? If you ever pretended to be a superhero or dressed up as a superhero for Halloween, who would you be? Maybe your criteria for choosing a favorite superhero was the particular kind of villain they defeated. Maybe you loved the particular powers the superhero wielded, or maybe it was as simple a matter as liking one of the costumes more than the others. Superman, Batman, Flash Gordon, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. Who was your favorite? Which of their superpowers could you see yourself making good use of? Mythologies once gave us gods and goddesses to admire, but in our thoroughly secularized age, we seldom talk of gods and goddesses, but instead we look at superheroes, figures who are human, yet possess a special gift that enables them to do things ordinary humans cannot, the sort of things that gods and goddesses once did, as figures who swoop into human affairs to rescue victims, to right wrongs, to prevent catastrophes, to fight crime. With regularity, a movie comes out featuring the adventures of one or more superheroes, suggesting that our appetite for superheroes is a fairly consistent one. Small wonder, given how overwhelmed we may feel by the 24 hours news cycle that keeps inundating us always with the next dire occurrence. Why wouldn't we look for a superhero under these conditions? To balance that negative pattern of experience, we turn toward superheroes to remind us that at any moment, things can turn for the better, which is a message we especially need now, when grandiosity is on display daily, but the words and deeds of the grandiosity are far from grand. They have nothing noble about them and are only the latest show of bloated egos. All the while, wars continue and immigrants are raided and civil rights are trampled and turned back. Where are the superheroes now? When will they step from the pages of the comics or the screens of movies and get to work on all that we need them to do now? All spiritual traditions promise in various ways the arrival of figures who help us out of our troubles, in keeping with the larger-than-life aspirations that we tend to expect spiritual traditions to offer. Yet by contrast, we Unitarian Universalists tend to mostly stick with manageable ideas, human-sized heroes, goals that are actually possible to imagine achieving. The one exception to our otherwise practical, achievable focus shows up in the sixth of our principles, where we commit to work for the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. While the other principles are human-sized and realistic in their scope, this principle goes much farther. It reaches for the stars. And exactly how do we plan to accomplish that? Peace, liberty, justice for all? When have we ever come close to approximating that dream? It would seem to require the gifts of a superhero to bring it into being. Given how rational our tradition usually remains, one has to wonder what was going on in the room when that principle was crafted. All the congregations I have served have insisted that the work of justice was a priority for them. And to underscore that claim, they list the many, 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 many projects and petitions and community witness events and good deeds they do to make the world a bit more fair. Yet often in the same breath, while taking pride in their good works, I keep hearing from congregants, including some of you, how tired and overwhelmed they feel. The enormity and complexity of the forms of injustice we face can leave us feeling insignificant, too limited to accomplish much change. Oh, we do love readings like the one in the back of the Gray Hymnal by Helen Keller, in which she references that feeling of helplessness that comes from realizing she's just one person, but that's not going to stop her from doing what she can. Yet we are individual people. We are a small congregation. We are a small denomination. And just how can we, in the end, believe we will make even a small dent in global issues, make real progress in creating world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all? Where do you start? Well, we might wave this kind of response away as a kind of all or nothing thinking, the fallacy of believing that if I cannot do everything, then my only alternative is to do nothing. I suspect the issue runs deeper than that. It seems a fair question to raise alongside our commitment to working for justice. Just how much can one person do to make a difference? Even for a superhero, life does not go swimmingly all the time. All the superheroes have a vulnerability, a crack in their otherwise superhumanly perfect self that can render them powerless, no better than the rest of us. Superman, for instance, always became weak in the presence of kryptonite. What is your vulnerability? What is your personal kryptonite? What is the crack in your usually well-functioning self that disrupts your life over and over again, that you just cannot seem to overcome? Albert Scheinin, in his collection of folk tales called Once Upon a Midlife, recounts the Eastern European story of two brothers, one of whom worked from dawn to dusk and yet never saw his farm thrive, while the other brother played, hired others to do his work, and had a prosperous farm. The beleaguered brother finally grew too frustrated with this state of affairs to abide it any longer, and set out on a quest to meet up with destiny, the supreme figure who handed out each person's fate. At the Castle of Destiny, when the questing brother was allowed to pose his question, asking why he could never get ahead, and his goofball brother succeeded at everything, he received as the answer the information that their differing fortunes came down to the day on which each was born. The failing brother was born on the very day that all people who fail at everything were born. The successful brother was born on the very day that all people who succeeded at everything were born. Thoroughly dissatisfied with this answer, the questing brother demanded to know what he could do to change his bad luck, for surely nobody should forever be a lost cause simply as the result of being born on a bad day. Destiny suggested that he marry a particular neighbor woman. She was one of those born on a good day, and he could enjoy the fruits of her lucky lot. He went home, married the woman, and in a short time saw his fortunes improve, his farm thrive, and felt happiness more than he had ever known before. One day he was out enjoying the view of his prosperous grain fields when a passerby joined him in admiring the abundance and asked for the secret of his success. The brother replied, "It is all due to my willingness to work hard every day." Suddenly the field burst into flames that grew quickly and threatened to destroy everything. The brother hastily recanted and gave the correct answer. "I had nothing to do with this. The success comes from my wife." And the flames died down. One of the prevailing myths of our culture is the myth of success coming to everybody who works hard and makes smart choices. Those who do not succeed are those who are either unwilling to work hard and are lazy, or those who make poor choices and are stupid. The myth can serve as a positive motivator at times. It can keep us striving to succeed, but it fails to account for the dead ends we all reach at some point, for the habitual screw-ups we all fall into. There are obstacles everyone encounters that will not fall, no matter how hard we throw ourselves at them, again and again. I've come to see over time that there are skills I will never master, projects I will never complete, dreams I will never bring to fruition no matter what. These endpoints are not the result of my being lazy or stupid. They're not signs of an unwillingness on my part to hang in there and keep trying. They are rather givens, the limits that my life comes with, the limits that every person bumps up against at some point, no matter how smart, how successful you may be. Maybe the limits of my own life are the result of the day I was born, like the folk tale suggests, something quite random, but nonetheless real. Maybe the limits in my life come with my particular genetic package. Maybe the limits have accumulated as a result of the particular life course I followed, and now they are locked in place so they can no longer be removed. Like Superman's kryptonite that would always take away his powers, there is not one thing I can do to cancel out some of the limits that are built into my particular existence. Not one thing I can do. Like the brother who could not change his unlucky birth date. Each of our lives has certain unhappy, unwanted elements that we cannot erase and we will not be able to overcome. The myth of unlimited possibility is only partially true until kryptonite, until the physical and emotional and spiritual limits that make up who I am come along. And at that moment, a run of unlimited possibility is over. One of the norms of our culture seems to warn us against ever admitting weakness. Perhaps this is a leftover survival mechanism, since being weak out in the open would at one time have meant a predator could easily track me and devour me. But even though most of us never hang out in fields with predators anymore, the taboo remains: don't show your weakness to anyone, lest you then become vulnerable to exploitation. People will take advantage of you when you're weak. People will manipulate you when they know your weak points. Stay strong, get stronger, be strong is the constant message, and anywhere you are not strong, hide it as best you can. That may be good advice, It may serve us well in much of our lives. But on a spiritual level, a paradox is operative that calls for quite the opposite response, something like the response portrayed in the folk tale. For spiritually speaking, acknowledgement of weakness becomes strangely a sign of strength, because knowing weakness and accepting weakness seems required in order to be truly strong. Hiding one's weakness, by contrast, ensures the weakness never becomes anything more than weakness. And such a strategy ends up diverting strength that could be used in other ways, but is being wasted on covering up weakness. Once the brother admitted he could not change the fact of his unlucky birth, he was given a different route to winning luck by marriage to a lucky woman. Then again, he had to maintain his status as an unlucky person by taking back the false assertion that he was not the source of his, by taking back the assertion that he was the source of his abundant fields, and admitting that the goodness in his life was not the result of any effort on his part. Two admissions of weakness that, instead of leaving him worse off, actually improved his lot. There came a day when I was in the throes of depression, seeing no improvement anywhere, and I was listening to my well-intentioned therapist encourage me for the millionth time to keep trying, to push through the dark feelings, to work on behavioral changes, and yes, one day my life would improve. Probably all true. But on that particular day, I could no longer tolerate the advice to try a little harder, since trying harder is the key to overcoming despair. Instead, I quite uncharacteristically raised my voice and began ranting at him. No more. I don't want to hear that line about working harder anymore. I've been doing that and nothing changes. Starting now, I refuse to work harder. I refuse to push on. I refuse to keep pushing, focused on changing. I'm going instead to devote all my energy to accepting my life exactly as it is now, accepting myself exactly as I am now, unhappy, failing, all that. And I'm going to concentrate on playing the hand life has dealt me. The therapist argued with me a bit, but I was not to be dissuaded. I was done changing myself. I was done changing my life. I figured if things were going to improve, they would have by then. And it was time for me to just take the life I had and live it. Strangely enough, that moment of admitting defeat, admitting that I was stuck with the life I had, stuck with myself, giving up trying to be different, that became the moment when everything turned and was different. I had concluded that many of the struggles I had then were more spiritual issues than anything else, with the first among them being my abiding desire to have somebody else's life rather than my own. So not until I abandoned that insistence on being someone other than who I was, not until then did I find the darkness lifting. I gave up. With my giving up, the healing energies that until then had been locked out could enter. As this time of chaos and destruction we are living in continues, we're going to be challenged over and over to find new ways of working and learning so that we're not endlessly exhausting by dispiriting events. Even deeper, we're going to be challenged to rethink our priorities and how we understand the world that we have for so long taken for granted and misused for our convenience. And the assumptions we carry about strength and power, weakness, dependency, all are being held up to us for reconsideration. Across the entire globe, alliances are shifting, economic patterns are shifting, how our country is viewed is shifting, what we long for and despise in leadership is shifting. We need one another more than ever. Finding our bearings in such an upended landscape is going to take time, time that we may often feel we just do not have. In this setting, the question keeps coming before us. Where do we start? And what can one person possibly do? Yet that admission of feeling weak, hopeless, is the first step, paradoxically, to achieving change. Until I realize my limits, I will not be able to focus my energies effectively, and I will not find the help I need to advance. But with that first step, our vision begins to clear, and we make ourselves available to all the forces for change that are already in motion within and around us, just waiting for us to open to them. It's sort of like dismantling a dam. You can blow it up, and the change is costly, and it leaves a mess to clean up. Or you can go poke one or two carefully placed holes, and the force of the water will do the rest to take down the dam. Perhaps the superpower we most need is the power to know just where to poke the holes that can start the process. Poking holes is a power every one of us has, which means that each one of us is already a superhero. Each one of us can save the world. May it be so. Amen.
Much to think about. Our next hymn is in the Teal Hymnal, number 1014, Answering the Call of Love. And a note, the composer had changed both the title and the lyrics from the previous Standing on the Side of Love to the more active Answering the Call of Love. And we'll be singing along with the First Unitarian Church of Baltimore again.
The promise of the Spirit, faith, hope, and love abide, and so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our God. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one, emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we love will not divide. Reflections of grace in every embrace, fulfilling the vision divine. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of love.
Each week as we gather, we light a common chalice. We sing and celebrate. We pray and think. Then we each gather strength from that flame and go out from here, taking the light with us.
Wish you all a good rest of your Sunday and a good beginning to this new month of June. The words of the benediction are by Kent McCusick. In the name of all that is holy, may the connections between us inspire us and sustain us. May the flame of life within us and among us be a sacred reminder that we are called to serve, called to grow, called to love on every step of our journey. Shalom, salam, namaste, blessed be. Amen.
Please stay seated for the postlude, and you are welcome to sing along if you like.
El arroyo le canta al río, el río le canta al mar, y el mar le canta al barco que lejos nos va a llevar.
The stream sings into the river sings into the sea sings into the boat that carries you and me. Somos el barco, somos el mar. Yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I sail in you, you sail in me.
Now the boat we are sailing on was built by many hands.
And the sea so deep and wide, it touches every side.
The voyage has been long and hard, and yet we're sailing still.
With a song to help us flow together, if we only will.
Somos el barco, somos el mar. Yo navego en ti, tú navegas en mí. We are the boat, we are the sea. I
Thank you all for coming. Please enjoy some refreshments, coffee, cookies, goodies in the back, and our free market. There is a donation vase for donations, but otherwise everything is free. It's looking for a good home. Thank you for coming.